What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Magic and Andrew MMA betting show. We've got episode 104, UFC Vegas 91, Nikolai versus Perez. As always, we're going to start from the bottom of the card, Tapology order, work our way up through it. But first, want to give a shout out to our sponsor, SXBet. SXBet, they're a crypto betting exchange. If you're serious about betting, extra margins and lines will make all the difference. It's a peer-to-peer betting exchange. There's 0% trading fees, so it's a lot different than a lot of these exchanges you're seeing right now. Really good site, good people, SXBet, and they start you off with $1,000 welcome bonus, which doesn't hurt either. So if you want to bet the fights this weekend, I would definitely check that out because their lines are, like I said, as competitive or better than anyone's. And that makes all the difference in the game we play. Magic, how are you? We had a week off after the big UFC 300 card. I'm already dying to get your thoughts on Mahashate versus Gabriel Benitez.
Did your stream like freeze?
No, did it seem like it did?
Yeah, I lost you for like 10 seconds. Okay,
No one
it's
said
fine now.
anything. Okay.
I think it's because I turned on VPN off.
Okay, that could do it.
Don't tell the authorities. Allegedly. I only did it allegedly. Yeah, what's the first fight?
Mahashate versus Gabriel Benitez.
That's the first fight?
Mm-hmm.
How is that the first fight? There are some really shitty fights here. How are they disrespecting Majestate like that? And Benitez looks pretty much done against Jim Miller. Like, if you make Jim Miller look young, it's time to hang them up. Majestate is not great, but he's huge for the division. Hits very hard, gets into the fire. I don't think at this point Benitez is going to be able to grapple him, and he just wilted against Jim Miller. You know what I mean? He just kind of not quit, but yeah, that he looked horrendous. I think Majestat is going to finish him. I think Benitez retires after this one.
Yep, I agree with you. He looked extra bad against Jim Miller, which hasn't exactly aged well. Mahashate, I don't think he's great technically, but he should have a pretty favorable edge in durability and power here, which should be enough to get it done.
He has the
Next
death
up,
touch.
what?
He has the death touch,
He has the death
Like
touch.
Firas Zahabi says. I mean,
Yeah,
in hindsight, his win against what's his name, the Southpaw guy, my guy,
Steve
this Mexican.
Garcia.
Yeah, his win against Steve Garcia is going to age like absolute gold.
I bet Garcia. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the funniest shit ever.
I couldn't believe it. He ran out and he was like basically putting his chin in his face.
He hit him with the McGregor lean back pull counter. That was insane.
Ivana Petrovic versus Na Liang. I faded Petrovic in her last fight, but I think she should get it done here. Obviously, it's a massive price tag that I'm not looking to pay, but Liang, no striking, no cardio. Maybe she's a wrestling threat early, but I kind of think Petrovic, takes over, gets on top. She's bigger, probably finishes the fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people enthusiastically betting Naliang, round one, Naliang by submission. I mean, if she wins, it's round one submission, I guess. And I'm rooting for her like big time because she's one of the funniest fighters of all time, completely autistic. But I mean, if you look at her record, she gets finished against anyone that can fight. Basically, like she gets people down, but then she's so bad positionally, and she just has an armbar. I mean, it worked against Asiya Kliutova, Xiao Kan Feng, and Megnan Liu, but it didn't work against people you can spell their names. Like Carnelossi killed her, but she took her down. You know what I mean? It's a beast. I'm rooting for her. I like the under. I didn't take her because I don't want to be depressed after she gets Petrovic down and then fails miserably and gets pounded or choked out. I think the under is the move. Like she always goes under. The last fight
Always.
went over, but that's JJ Aldrich, who has not finished anyone ever, and she finished her by accident in round two. Any other fight in the UFC and the 4 or 5 previous ones went under. Under at plus money is a gift. Like this is the best action fighter of all time.
When we're on to our Q&A segment, I'll hit this one. Um, Third fight, Chris Padilla versus James Lontop. What are your thoughts here?
This is pass. This guy is ass, but his time will come. I mean, he's fighting a guy that this is an LFA fight, and I don't know. I'm not sure if he's main card in LFA. This is literal ass. This is one of these guys. I don't know where they are coming from. They are all the same guy with some different skills. He's like huge Peruvian head. The dude is immortal, cannot grapple, just stays in your fucking face and doesn't fuck off. Okay. First time he faces a grappler, he's going to lose badly. This guy, he should win. Maybe he does the funniest thing of all time and gets stabbed by Chris Padilla on short notice. But Chris Padilla is not great. But the fight could be fun. Maybe a good live betting opportunity. Like if Padilla is killing him round one, but doesn't kill him, John Top is just tiring. Like he doesn't fuck off.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. That pass.
Yeah, I liked Gabe Green in that initial matchup, but here I kind of think Lontop should get it done. I don't think he's extremely skilled, but he does have good cardio and he does have good output. Again, Padilla, I don't think he's UFC caliber taking this fight on short notice. Like you said, possibly he had some success early, but given the cardio edge and short notice, I think it's enough to justify. Lontop is a pretty decent sized favorite. Chugging right along here, not much cooking so far, but Ketlin Souza versus Marnik Mann. Do you think Mann is a live dog here, or do you think the big price tag on?
I have like a ton of DMs and people asking on Twitter. No, I haven't sent bets myself. I'll do after the podcast. I have a couple bets pending. It's a late one, kind of shitty card. Liquidity is not the best. I'll do right after the podcast. Don't panic. Yeah, this fight is. Ketlin Souza should win. I mean, she's better at everything. And Marnik Mann, come on, she sucks. With all due respect, she sucks, bro. Like the Sweden girl, Knudson, she should be in jail for not finishing that fight. I bet Knudson rounds 2 and 3, and that was disgusting. Like, how don't you finish that fight? Marnik Mann didn't want to be there from minute 6 or 7, and she went the distance, like the full 15. What is Josephine Knudson doing? That was crazy. I think Ketlin Souza is going to win, probably finish.
Yeah, I favor Souza also. It's just hard for me to get to her at like minus 350 against anyone. Like I have nothing on it, but it would be Mann or pass for me. Mann just lacks physicality. Like that's the issue here. Skill for skill, like she's probably as good as Souza, but Souza's just more physical than her. I do think the line's a little wide though, just because if Mann gets on top, you're not going to want to be holding.
She's like a giant, like a gigantic baby. That's how she's built. Don't you think?
I never thought of it that way.
She's just like a giant square with arms. No athleticism whatsoever. Just pure will of heart.
Yeah. Dontel Mays versus Kyle Machado. Mays opened the favorite here. A decent size favorite, and a lot of money's coming on Machado. Do you agree with that move, or do you think the experience in wrestling of Mays should warrant him the favorite?
You have to be a sick person to be ledging money on this. Either side, I don't care. I don't care what's the bet. Like, what are you all doing? Everybody's like, oh, I'm never betting Don't. Every time he fights, he's like, oh, I'm never betting Dontel Mays again. Everybody. Then he fights again, and people are like, oh, Dontel Mays at plus 100. This is financial opportunity. No, bro. Pass. Maybe live bet. It's something stupid is happening. Jonathan Dennis is not good, but he kind of gave kebab legend Mick Parkin a fight while losing. You know what I mean? There was some cardio involved. Don't tell me it's just expect the worst. Maybe he comes out and is like the fat Floyd Mayweather. That happened once, if I remember correctly, in the UFC, but expect the worst. Pass. Mace by knockout is a bit wide now that I'm seeing it. I didn't even look at the props. Mace by knockout, I don't hate it, but yeah, this is a pass.
Yeah, I'm passing too. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably bet Mays just because I do think he has wrestling upside and he's fought the better people. But I will say I like Machado's get-ups against Parkin. I know like Parkin's not a world beater or anything, but Parkin was taking him down and he was working back up, which a lot of heavyweights don't do.
How is he going to use his get-ups if Dontel Mays is not going to shoot a takedown?
Yeah, I mean that too. That too.
That's how he's going to neutralize his get-ups by not getting him down.
Yeah, I mean, on the feet, I don't really feel strongly. Like Machado has decent volume. Neither very skilled. Mays could crack a little bit. Yeah, that's my thoughts. I'm passing, but I guess for pick's sake, I'll take Mays. Austin Hubbard versus Michael Figlak. I'm picking Figlak to get it done here. Not super confidently, but I do think that he's probably better than what he showed in that first fight in the UFC. And Hubbard, you kind of know what you're getting with him. He's decent everywhere, but he's not great or even very good anywhere. He's tough, but I just think Figlak is just a little. I don't know. I don't have some kind of super technical breakdown. I just think Figlak's a little bit better of a fighter. I bet Ziam against him, and like I said, I just don't think he's as bad as he looked in that fight. If that makes sense. Do you agree?
Yeah, I like Figlak. That the debut performance was very surprising. I lost money there, quite some money against Thiam. I thought he was going to grapple fuck him. Maybe I underestimated Thiam a little bit, but I'm pretty sure he took that fight injured or on short notice or something strange or both. Was short notice, right? But I think he was injured. He's been out for a while with injury, and he's a very legit grappler and a big. I was very surprised with how that fight went. He didn't look like himself. I was very high on this guy when he was on Cage Wars. This is a good fighter. I think he's going to have his way with his grappling against Hubert.
Cool. Next up, we've got Ronnie Yaya versus Victor Henry. I think Yaya is pretty done at this point. The line reflects that. I think Henry probably finishes him late. Yaya is a gasser. If he can't get the grappling going early, I don't see him having a ton of success here. But that's pretty much, I think, the consensus with this fight. Like, do you have anything different?
This is stylistically a horrible fight for Rani Yaya. Like Victor Henry doesn't get finished and is a legit good grappler. Bigger than him, and he's also not dying of old age like Rani Yaya. So yeah, I think he's going to get finished. I mean, if Yaya pulls guard 27 times and survives and loses 30-25, I'm calling the Federals. But yeah, I like the under.
Yeah, agreed. Tim Means versus Uros Medic. I think you have a stronger opinion on this one than I do, so I'll let you go first.
Yeah, Tim Means gets hurt like every fight nowadays, but this price is insane. Like he's the cleaner boxer. He has power. He goes to the body. He's probably, I mean, not probably, he's the better grappler. Medic hits very hard and has powerful kicks, and that's about it. He has 6 or 7 minutes of kung fu, and then he quits or finds a way out. I don't know how Semmelsberger managed to lose that fight late against Medic. That was crazy. I mean, this line is wide. Tim Means has to be the side. If he dies in round 1, everybody's going to be like, "Oh, it was obvious. He's 80 years old. He's done. Blah blah blah." This line is wide as fuck. So yeah, Tim Means, the dirty bird, baby. I think if he hits Medic once to the body a little bit hard, Medic is like, "Oh, maybe I don't want to be a fighter again." Like that happens once every 2 Medic fights. How don't you take Tim Means here plus 250? Come on.
I don't disagree that skill wise this is at worst a competitive fight. I just think Means there. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I just think Means durability is such a liability at this point. He's got a ton of miles on him. Medic, I don't think much of him as a grappler, but he's a pretty decent striker, especially offensively. He carries some power in his hands. I mean, I would never lay this price on him, but I am picking him to win. I think this is not a bad under spot. Also, I'm looking for line.
Of course. Under doesn't go are good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like both these guys are good under doesn't go spots in general.
I mean, Means is probably going to get hit, but he's very good in that distance he establishes. You know what I mean? He's constantly countering and getting people clean. He gets touched, but I don't know. It's whoever lands first, pretty much. In my opinion, whoever lands first clean and hurts the other, and Medic gets hurt a lot of times, it's going to probably finish the fight. Like Tim Means just put a fucking beating on Andre Fiallo, and Andre Fiallo is basically the same fighter as Medic, but not as
like
you know what I mean? Like he's an explosive big rear hand guy that can kick. I mean, it's a bad comparison, but kind of the same stylistic matchup.
Next up, Jonathan Pierce versus David Onama. I like Pierce here. I think he should be a bigger favorite. He kind of got meme subbed in his last fight, and I think that's why the line is as close as it is. But this is a much different matchup than the Brito fight. I think Brito was a harder matchup for Pierce, and Pierce still looked like a pretty comfortable favorite there. Onama, pretty bad takedown defense. I don't think much of him is a grappler. Pierce, he will get touched up on the feet if it stays there. I just don't think it's going to stay there. He's fought. The other thing I noticed about Pierce too is he's fought pretty much like all good grapplers. Let's say, like even Elkins, Amir Khani, Christian Rodriguez. Like even though Christian Rodriguez was up a weight class, I think that wins age pretty well, right? Like considering the Bulgarian fight.
He's possibly the GOAT, JSP. Look at those wins. Elkins, Amir Khani,
Yeah.
Sirot. I mean,
even another good example is the Kamaka fight. We just saw Kamaka the other night fight an NCAA champ wrestler and who couldn't take him down and hold him down. But yeah, I like Pierce here. Onama, he's explosive, he's powerful. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I just think he's pretty outgunned in the grappling here. So I think the line should be wider. What about you?
Yeah, I think it should be at least minus 300. Like Onama is too black to beat Jonathan Pierce if the fight
I'm
gets
not saying
extended.
that anymore.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, he's too black to win an extended fight with Jonathan Pierce. He's like fast, explosive, but this is not a sprint. You know what I mean? You're fighting Jonathan Pierce, is going to get fucking ugly, and you are going to have to scramble and bridge and get out of positions, and he's going to be riding you. And he's like a fucking good grappler, and he has a very specific grappling style. He's great. I love the guy. I cannot believe Brito won that like that. Like if Brito comes out and destroys him round one, which was his win condition, basically, great, congratulations. But getting one of these modified guillotines when Jonathan Pierce was minus 1,000 live, that was depressing. And yeah, if Jonathan Pierce doesn't get instantly bonked into another dimension round one, he should get takedowns and then it rolls into Onama being fucked. I think he's going to dominate the fight. Yeah, doesn't go is probably a good look too.
Yeah, I agree. I don't look too much into the weight miss.
People are always talking about this. I mean, come on, 1 pound is. I know DC and all these people are always saying the last pound is what kills you. There are a lot of people that can move up and be fine. 10 pounds straight up, one fight to another, or down if they want it. We see it all the time. There are some guys that if Max Holloway had to cut a couple more pounds at 145, he would fucking die. But Onama is fine, trust me. Maybe he just doesn't want to like kill his body because he knows it's going to be a grueling fight, and just takes the penalty. I mean, it's like cheating, but you get paid less, and JSP is going to make you pay for your disrespect.
Yeah, I mean, anything is just speculation. It could be just he had a bad weight cut. It could have been an injury in camp. It could be nothing. Like he could just be getting bigger. It's for me. I don't really try to speculate much about that. Like unless I know something, which I don't.
It could be Kraus betting on the missing weight props. Could be whatever.
Your tweets about that are so funny. Next up at heavyweight, Jonathan Denise versus Austin Lane. Do you think Lane is a live underdog here, or do you think that Denise is a justified, sizable favorite?
I mean, this guy has never been out of round one. Austin Lane is ass. Every time he gets hit, he quits. But this guy, like his longest fight went, let me check. His longest fight went 4 minutes and 16 seconds. I mean, Austin Lane has seen a round 4 against Juan Adams and won. I'm passing, but
legendary Juan Adams.
Juan Adams, all-time retard, honestly. that crazy career. Juan Adams coming out to strike against fucking Justin Tafa should be in the Hall of Fame.
Remember the Greg Hardy fight too?
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking Juan Adams. Like he's the dumbest to ever do it. His eyes are on the sides of his head, bro. I don't know what people were expecting. Like when they wanted him to grapple. Yeah, this is a live bet. If Austin Lane is not dying round one, probably live bet if Jonathan Dennis is ballooning up to minus 400 line. I mean, he's opening minus 300. So yeah, you see 3 or 4 minutes and we go from there. It's a pass for me. I mean, I cannot hate on anyone taking Austin Lane. This guy has 6 fights, is from Brazil, looks a little bit fat, and has gone 4 minutes. I mean, how do you get to minus 315 or whatever he's now? Minus 345? Come on, call the police. I don't want to bet Austin Lane, but I cannot blame anyone doing it. I'm rooting for Jonathan Dennis round 1, 40-second knockout, honestly. This has to set up some fade or something.
You pretty much said everything I wanted to say. He seems like the better striker, especially on paper, but he's gone 4 minutes. He hasn't fought anyone. He's like a handful of pro fights. Austin Lane, he's not the most skilled heavyweight, but he's long. He's decently athletic. He's proven that he could go later in fights. So I think it's Lane or pass. I'm not enthusiastic about playing Austin Lane against anybody, but I think he probably has to be the side here against someone who just hasn't really proven it cardio-wise. Also, I know he's a decorated striker, but when I watched him on Contender Series, I wasn't watching that like, oh, wow, what an elite high-level kickboxer.
Who, Jonathan Dennis?
Yeah.
I mean, I think people don't realize that in a lot of countries, even big countries, there are not that much people kickboxing, and there are like 1,000 belts. Like a friend of mine was national kickboxing champion without fighting, because there was nobody his weight when he went to the championship. So he went 0-1 that day because he lost to a guy in an upper division and became the champion. 0-1.
That's hilarious.
How many fat ass heavyweights are kickboxing in Brazil for whatever regional belt he won or something? High level striker, my ass. This guy is not good.
Yeah, I'm with you there, buddy. Karine Silva versus Ariane Lipski. I think Silva's going to win. Lipski, I think there's a big debate going on around the MMA community if she's improved or not.
I thought you were going to say if she's really that hot.
No. If she's improved a little bit, or sorry, if she's improved, I think maybe a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think she's still relatively the same fighter. Think she's going to struggle in the grappling. Karine Silva, I wasn't totally sold on her, and I'm still not. I just think this is a good matchup for her. She's the much better grappler here, and it might only take a takedown. Like her jiu-jitsu is pretty high level on the mat, especially compared to Lipski's, where even if she's not landing a ton of takedowns, like it might only take 1 or 2 to get something done. I think she's going to win the fight.
Under.
Yeah, it's reasonably binary.
Also, I mean, Lipski could kill her on the feet. Like both of them throw fucking hit. Karine Silva is going to force the fight. If she gets on top, she can get a submission. Also, Lipski by submission is a fucking gigantic price. Like, that's a crazy number. Lipski is a functional submission grappler. I mean, she did a lot of stupid shit in the past, but she's not a bad submission grappler. Karine Silva has been tapped a couple times. Karine Silva is a better finisher herself than a grappler. You know what I mean?
Very opportunistic finisher.
Both of them do submission grappling, not wrestling or grappling. It looks like catch wrestling what they are doing sometimes. But yeah, I like under a lot. And Lipski by submission, I mean, that number is crazy. Like she can roll an armbar or a knee bar or something. I'm rooting for Lipski. She's hotter, way hotter. Come on, that's a reasonable condition. I want the sport to grow, women to get paid equally. We need good-looking champion women. Andrew, don't be a misogynist. we need the good-looking women to be winning. That's why we need Namayuna South.
As it gets.
What?
I said I'm turning heel. I'm as misogynistic as it gets. Ryan Spann versus Bogdan Guskov. I like Spann here, and I never like Spann. I think he has a lot of advantages that are usually disadvantages. He's a better grappler. I think his cardio is better, which is shocking because I never really thought highly of his cardio. But Guskov, I don't even think he's really UFC caliber. I thought he was looking like the underdog against Pauga before he landed a shot. Span's a big hitter. He's bigger. He's fought better people. I think he's going to finish Guskov.
This is a mess. I'm debating with myself if I want to Span by submission because it's really short, but I wouldn't take any other angle on him. Like, his chin sucks. He's a very good athlete. Like, he's talented, but does the guy even train? He has some of the craziest, most stupid fights. I don't know, man. I'm passing. I'm probably passing. Like, Guskov can hit very hard, and he likes fighting. You know what I mean? He's going to be there throwing bricks. And
he likes fighting for like 3 minutes.
Spanish, like, don't tell me. Expect the fucking wars.
That's funny.
So yeah, Span has a big grappling advantage in my opinion, but per Ryan Span himself, he has watched zero tape on his opponent, and he's just going to go out there and see what's up. Hey, what's good? You know what I mean? I don't know. I probably passing.
Cool.
But yeah, Ryan Span is an idiot, man. Every time he gets on the mic, it's like, what are you doing? You could be actually good. He's so ignorant. He's proud to be ignorant. That's the bad part. You know what I mean? My grandpa used to say that. Being ignorant is not bad. The problem is being proud about being ignorant. And he's proud about being ignorant. Like, he's a legit cheat code physically. He's huge. He can hit hard. He has good submissions for the division. He's just not in shape. Come on. He doesn't have cardio. He does stupid things. I don't get it. Could be a contender.
Already on to the main event. We've got actually, before we go into the main event, I would like to shout out our sponsors one more time. SXBet, crypto betting exchange. They're giving new users a $1,000 bonus. Check it out, guys. Every cent matters when you're betting. They've got the most competitive lines. You could get, if two sides are minus 110, a lot of the times you get minus 102, minus 103. And yeah, if you're a crypto guy, if you're a bettor, that's a spot for you. So go to SXBet and place your bets this weekend. Hopefully you're on the same sides as us, because we're rolling with Alex Perez in the main event. Is that fair to say?
He has to be the side. I mean, every Alex Perez fight is the same narrative. People are saying the same shit, and he ends up always being the side. Like, most of the times, yeah. It's like, oh no, he always gets submitted. This guy has been tapped in the UFC by Alexandre Pantoja and Davison Figueiredo. He got him with a guillotine, one of the best guillotines of all time in the UFC. Davison Figueiredo, and Alexandre Pantoja got his back. And is he the best jiu-jitsu player in the UFC? Like, don't tell me Rodolfo Vieira. Like, the best jiu-jitsu in MMA.
He's right up there for sure.
Bro, he's insane. Like, his rear naked choke, I think, is the best in history. So yeah, Alex Perez, good volume, very good wrestler, very good grappling all around, can box. He looked a little bit regressed against Mokaev, which is normal because he had bad injuries and a very long layoff. He lost. I thought he won. I think most people thought he won. He got a lot of shit for the performance. Like, oh, if he just does a little bit more round 3, he runs away with the fight, which I agree with that, but I don't know if people realize how good of a grappler Mokaev is. Like, that's the only thing he has. And he was pushing a crazy pace. And every time Perez got close to him, Mokaev just wanted to go for legs. You know, I mean, he was playing that game. Both of them were fucking exhausted. I don't think that fight was a bad look for Perez. Nicolau is great technically, very good grappler. He has very good boxing, some power, but unless he finishes Perez early, I don't know how he's going to justify this price. So yeah, I think I like Perez. I think fight ends by submission is a great number, both ways. I like the under too, kind of. I think Perez is going to be the side, or going to look like the side. Nicolau really never separates himself from opposition, and this is 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is Nikolai never really separates himself. He kind of just like circles along the outside, not super high volume. He's coming off getting knocked out pretty bad. Perez.
It's one of these guys that unless he's finishing, he's never separating because he's better usually and he's comfortable fighting down to the level of opposition and looking just a little bit better. And I don't know, man. These judges are pretty stupid, Mateus. You do you, but
I also think that Perez could probably get the leg kicks going here.
yeah. And also he's going to circle right into his leg kick. He loves circling that way. So I don't know. I kind of hope Perez forces him to grapple, like on bottom.
Yeah, I mean, over 5 rounds, if it plays out that long, I think he will at some point.
I don't know, it's an awkward fight in the sense that I can see it going a lot of different ways. I'm really not sure how they are going to approach the fight.
Does Perez have like bad cardio or something that I don't know about?
No, he has great cardio historically.
Okay,
He was pushing Mokayev.
That's what I was gonna say. He was a way fresher guy. Yeah, I'm picking Perez here. I think it's a competitive fight. Like you said, it could look different depending on the iteration of the fight, but I just think that Nikolai's ceiling isn't very high given the fact that he doesn't separate and he's not gonna. I'd be surprised if he out wrestles Perez. So I don't know.
He's not going to out wrestle Perez.
No.
But if he comes out and puts down Perez and then taps him, everybody's going to be like, "Oh, it's his money of all time. You are so stupid. How you didn't know Mateus Nicolau is the greatest to ever do it?" Okay. I think Perez is the side.
Yeah, I'm with you. Any questions? Let us know. Yeah, I didn't realize how bad the card was until we talked about it.
It's not that bad. I mean, I always end up having like similar amount of money involved or bets or whatever you want to call it. And even the bad cards, after you have done your research and your bets and everything, you want to watch them. I mean, I know you are boring, but I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. 30 units played, this is great. Jonathan Pierce versus Sonama. Wow. Don't you want to watch that fight? That's a great fight.
Yeah, I do, but I don't want to watch like Marnik Mann versus Ketlin Souza.
Because you don't have enough money involved in it.
What money do you have involved in that fight?
Doesn't go the distance.
Okay.
And Souza by submission.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, I literally just sent you all my bets.
Did you? I didn't look yet. Let me see. I'm just gonna go through reading them right now. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I cannot believe this idiot is here. Is this the same guy?
Who?
Michael.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the same. You cannot open a conversation like that. Are you fucking autistic or what? You cannot say hey and disrespect someone 3 lines later. Also, the playoffs. When did the playoffs start? Monday or previous Saturday?
I don't know.
I know it's been like a week and I'm up like 17,000. I don't need your help, Michael. I have the power of friendship algorithm and it works very well.
Oh my god.
You keep laughing, but this algorithm is going to end up like 6 figures up when the playoffs are done. I'm going to sell it. The POF algorithm.
I don't know. I've only heard Magic say it.
It was one of these memes. One of these football
yeah.
with sentences they have never said. That was one of them. We will be there no matter what.
The Magic Andrew origin story.
My parents had sex and then I was born.
Okay. No one wants to hear about that. I think they mean how we met, which was through MMA Twitter. We like started at the exact same time almost and kind of just started talking, and the rest is
history. I remember young and respectful Andrew Gombas starting in Twitter, like little Andrew, fresh of his highlight full, how do you say this? Highlight field wrestling career. He switched to Twitter.
I'm trying to think how old I was when I started my account. I was
like 22. You were so young.
20. I was 20.
Young McGregor fanboy.
Yeah.
I met him on Twitter. At first, he was just a logo. MMA knockout bets.
Yeah, people remind me that sometimes. I always forget. For like a couple of years, that's all I had.
I always liked you, even before we were friends. Like you were one of the nice
Me
guys
too.
on Twitter.
It's crazy how different it was back then.
There are a lot of people that just vanished.
I know.
Sometimes I wonder like where are they?
Okay, so I had that moment. I'm not going to mention who it was, but there was someone who I used to talk to on MMA Twitter like years ago, and he kind of disappeared off the face of the planet.
I know the guy you are talking about for sure.
I called him the other day out of nowhere, and he answered, and we talked.
What?
I swear. Just the other day, I was like, I wonder what he's up to.
I
I
don't
just
remember
called.
his name. This guy that bet MMA, he wasn't bad at it. That he was doing Amazon or some other thing. That's the same guy?
Who?
A guy that was betting and he was decent at betting MMA, but he was doing some other things like Amazon drop shipping and all things like that. I think that's the same
No.
guy.
I know who you're talking about, but I'm still friends.
That guy disappeared too. Great guy.
Yeah, very great guy. I'm still friends with him. He just doesn't do the whole MMA grind anymore.
So who you called? We need to know now.
I'll tell you when we're done. What else?
There are people that disappear. Like she disappeared. Not C. Not C, bro. Set C.
Z, yeah.
The Canadian one. He's tuning up the algorithm. Bro, that's legit my favorite tweet of all time. When he explained the algorithm.
That was the best.
That was insane. I couldn't believe he tweeted that. That was fucking insane. I was like, there is no way this is real. This is parody. That was crazy.
Yeah, those were funny times.
He was a nice guy too. He just didn't win. He invited me to his podcast a couple times. He was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Everybody, I feel like everybody liked him. You know what I mean? One of these people at MMA Twitter that everybody likes.
Yeah.
He was a nice guy.
Remember MMA Vegas Pete?
Yeah, I know that guy. He stopped doing alcohol or something and just vanished. He couldn't manage the pressure anymore without alcohol.
Yeah,
I didn't remember him. I don't even have him in the new account. Vegas Pete, yeah.
He doesn't tweet anymore. I still follow him, but he hasn't tweeted.
He just does burpees at 6 a.m. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Burpees and push-ups and kayaking.
I'm trying to. You know who was the man on MMA Twitter at that time was Gugabe. It was like he's like the grandfather of MMA Twitter.
When I joined, he was already there. Some people say he's been there for like 100 years.
I think he started it.
Aboriginal people live a long time. I think he's half Aboriginal.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else is on.
There was this guy that had like a 100 sign on his logo. You know what I'm talking about? Bet winners, or I don't know how was his name. Yeah, but a lot of them just fell. This is like war. You lose friends.
Yeah, it's a good analogy.
On MMA Twitter, like this is not for the weak. This breaks people. I don't know who is Jordan Bain. I need my odds cap from C. Yeah, he was selling caps with the odds. You know what I mean?
I remember that.
I remember that. Absolute businessman.
Yeah. Crushed it. But I don't know what else to say. Aljamain Sterling did his thing. One of the best bantamweights of all time, if not the best. He was the star of the show.
Yeah, I made a lot, but I felt like I took a couple disgusting beats, and if Max Holloway doesn't finish that fight in the last second, which would have been another disgusting beat after the beating he put on Gaethje, especially that round, I would have got fucking cooked, honestly. I'd won a lot. Why am I'm a psychopath? Like, you are a psychopath. I blocked him on Twitter. You can come here and apologize on video. We have started this segment. And if Michael from Philadelphia wants to come on and explain his bad attitude towards strangers, maybe I unblock him. Or you can also make a burner account. like people do.
I generally like this guy. Every like probably 3 or 4 times a year, he makes me just absolutely rip him on this
Why
podcast.
everybody is talking about this like it was, I don't know, the bet of the century or something. He just hit him very hard
He
once.
landed first. What do you mean? He literally landed first, dude. Like
Every, like he knocked him out, and everybody was 20 seconds later. All these squares on Jamal Hill, blah blah blah. But what are you talking about? Nothing happened in that fight, and on the
literally
first
nothing
the
happened.
first time he went for it, like first entry, he got him flash. And also, as Jamal Hill has explained, if Herdin separates them properly, that never happens. Okay.
All right. Also, let me just say this: if you have such an edge, start betting bigger and go take everyone's money. It's that easy.
I've seen
And if you want
people.
to come here and say, "Oh, you want to talk about the 1 or 2 bets I lost in that car, but not the 6 I won," whatever. That's up to you guys.
Everybody saying all these squares on Hill, but like literally all the sharp money was on Hill in Vegas. I'm bringing the line back every time Poatan got bet. That's what I heard. I don't know.
The bet I tweeted about was Gabe Green, but the fight got canceled.
I didn't even remember that was going to happen. Versus John Top, yeah, versus John Top. I don't know, man. These Peruvian people don't get knocked out. They are like Barchola. Did you see Barchola the other day?
Yeah, I saw
He,
Barzola.
he got
That was crazy.
he got knocked out 17 times and went to a decision. Went to a decision. He should have won.
I thought he was going to get the decision. I was like, because I
Yeah,
bet on him, and I was like, oh,
I
shit.
bet him, and non-biased, I thought he won. I thought he won rounds 1 and 3, but
I
could have
did
gone either
too.
way. Like it was round 1 decide the fight. Yeah, that was all time too. Like 30 minutes after the fight, all these technician experts and skills people how Pereira stepped on his foot. I told Pereira stepped on his foot by accident. Like anybody that has watched
Yeah.
boxing can tell it was by accident because he forced a step and he almost rolled his ankle. And people were like, "Oh no, this is the Floyd Mayweather from the favela, the
Speaking
king
of
of the
box,
pampa,
speaking of boxing,
Ryan
how about
Garcia, baby."
all right,
Okay,
looking nice. Come
for the
through.
for the record, Poatan said in an interview he stepped on his foot by accident. Okay, he said it himself. But I don't know. People may tell you that he did it unconsciously. He's that good. Yeah, Ryan Garcia was great. I lost like 6K on the fight. Under doesn't go. Garcia by knockout ends 7-12, ends 10-12. Like I had all the right sides. I think I have never beaten the lines by so much, and that referee should be in federal prison. Like I literally got robbed $30,000. That's disgusting. Ryan Garcia knocked him out like twice. Any other fighter, like the fight gets called round 7, gets called round 10. That was a bad beating. I think the guy is done. I think he's done. I think he's going to take like a couple bad knockouts and retire at 25. That's wild. Bill Haney should be in prison too. His father.
He sucks, bro. He's the worst. He's like so annoying leading up to the fight.
Oh, he's an idiot. Like how like seriously, people are like, "Oh, you are coping." If you don't know the cards are filled for you before the fight, how do you let that fight continue in round 10 if you are his corner? Like the guy is getting his prime beaten out of him. He was done. Like he was fucking toast. Did you see after the fight that he ran to the corner and tried to get on the ropes and fell?
No.
Bro, he had like 7 concussions. He was out of it.
Wow.
He tried to get on the ropes and misstepped and went down and have to get up again. Ridiculous. That referee is so corrupt, man. That was crazy.
When
That
are we
was
going
so.
to talk about? When are we
That
going to
was
talk about the fact that I'm amazing at predicting Ryan Garcia fights?
I mean,
That's the second time in a row I've done it perfectly.
Michael, I can block you from here too, so you are playing too much now.
I'll
tell this.
Let's give him a time. Let's give him a timeout.
Yeah, go to the corner and think about what you are saying, Michael.
He gets a timeout.
Learn some manners. This is a serious podcast. Everybody's acting like, in hindsight, this was amazing. I mean, obviously, it was an amazing bet, Ryan Garcia at that number, but a big part of that fight was Garcia clipping him in round 1, okay? If he doesn't clip him, probably he clips him at some point, and he only needs, like, looking at the fight, if that fight happens again, he only needs a big moment to turn the fight around completely. But if he doesn't clip him like he did in round 1, I don't know if we will be having the same we would be having the same conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the side, no doubt about it. He was the side regardless of price. You want to be on the right side of history.
Yeah. Well said.
And that video is one of the best of all time. GQ, all white. And then he goes, I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking the fight seriously or not. So good. That's going to be funny if there is a rematch. I have no idea how they are going to line it. Like, it's difficult to line.
Which fight?
Haney versus Garcia 2. They fight. Imagine they fight in 6 months. What's the
It
line?
depends the weight class.
Garcia weight 143.2.
Yeah, then that's a different fight.
I don't see anybody beating him at 143.
Listen, you can't count Tank out against anybody.
What?
You can't count Tank out against anyone. He's like way up on
Garcia beats Tank at 140.
What?
Tank fought Garcia, and Garcia looked like a fucking castaway. I bet Garcia that night. You remember?
No,
He looked like a castaway. There was a
raid. Trust me, I know.
There was a raid clause. Like Garcia.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think people realize how much bigger Garcia is than fucking Gervonta Davis. Like, Davis is a midget. I think he will beat him at 140 or 143 or whatever they want. But Davis will put Haney in a body bag.
He won't take the fight, I don't think. Like, why would Tank fight him at 140 or 143 when it's a hard fight for him? He's rich.
Yeah, he has like 17 baby mamas.
Yeah, those add up pretty quick, I could imagine.
He's rich, but he's not smart.
That's a dangerous combination.
Do you think this guy is investing his money in, I don't know. Do you think he finishes training and goes to his real estate agent or something?
No, probably not.
And he's probably paying like child support for 2 or 3 babies at least for now. Probably has like 17 girlfriends, 40 friends that are living off him. Yeah. He needs money. It's like Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather always needed money. He made more money than anyone, but he always needed money because he lost it all on the Rams or something. That's why he was so hungry always, Floyd Mayweather. He was always broke. Yeah, a lot of good boxing fights coming up. Let that Arab guy cook that. How do they call him? I don't remember his name. Her Majesty, Her Highness, His Highness. Every time they tell his name, all these promoters tell it like he is Jesus Christ. Your Excellency. Yeah, Your Excellency. Al-Kalashki or whatever his name is, the Arab guy.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Because you don't know boxing, buddy, and you sit here weekly pretending you know boxing and you don't know this guy. He's like the Arab dog. No, bro. He's a promoter. He's like a Saudi prince or something.
Oh no, I don't know any promoter.
Ali Al-Akashki or His Excellency. Let's call him His Excellency. He's like, I'm going to make this card in the fucking desert, pay everybody a ton of money, and it's going to be the best card ever. And he just does it. He's great. People are always, I mean, all these journalists are hating because, oh, this is oil money and they are bombing Yemen. I mean, they are going to still bomb Yemen if they don't make the boxing, okay? So let us have the boxing.
Yeah, there's no correlation.
Yeah, I saw that. Floyd Mayweather is stranded in Dubai. They took away his passport.
That's ridiculous.
I may have to fly there, get Floyd out.
Yeah, you might have to.
That's my ninja. Turki Al-Shaikh. No, that's not his name. It's Turki Al-Shalik or Al-Alik. That's certainly not his name. He's making great fights. Do you see the Crawford card? Do you know who Terrence Crawford is?
Yeah, of course.
You don't know his opponent.
He just fought Earl Spence.
Yeah, he's fighting Madrimov.
That's an easy fight.
For Crawford?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It is.
I'm going to bet Madrimov. He's going to be like plus 300, and I'm going to bet him big.
Crawford's pound for pound number 1.
Yeah, that's a horrible take.
No, like he is. Like, not by me. That's what they have him ranked.
Yeah, Ring Magazine has that, who is owned by Oscar de la Hoya. My grandma can make her own pound for pound rankings and have the same legitimacy.
Okay.
I mean, undoubtedly, the number one pound for pound boxer in the world for years has been Naoya Inoue. By far.
For years.
It's not even close.
For years.
It's true.
I
This
know.
this guy is like minus 2,000, minus 3,000 every fucking fight. He's unifying divisions and he's minus a million.
Yeah.
He went up to unify against Fulton and he was minus 800 or some shit. Like, and he killed Fulton. Like, what are we talking about? This guy's an all-time great. But he's a Japanese man. If he was American, bro, there could be a Inoue mania in the States. You don't know who he is, right?
Yeah, I do. No, I actually do this time.
He's the greatest. Beterbiev versus Bivol, best fight in boxing. That's going to hit like crack cocaine in June in the desert. Yeah, I legit think he's an all-time great now. Yeah, I know it. Like if he keeps winning at this rate and just beating everybody like any way he wants, and that's it for another 4 or 5 years, he's the best ever. I'm serious.
All right, you ready to wrap this up?
Madrimov is plus 425 right now. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
That's a fair line.
That guy is like a fucking Russian tank. He dwarfs Crawford. I know you don't follow boxing, but this guy just
I watched the fight. I watched the fight Saturday.
His last fight, he fought a legit boxer, a boxer that went hard 12 rounds against Liam Smith. Okay, Liam Smith is legit at 154. They went to the trenches, close fight with either way. This guy fought the Russian that fought Liam Smith and just ran over him. Like, it's a tank at 154, and he can box. He can hit. Crawford dropped rounds to fucking Benavidez. Crawford's going to lose this fight. You heard it here first, Andrew.
Okay.
He's old as fuck and he's not big enough. Who the fuck is Ansem? What are you talking about?
I don't know. All right. Thank you guys for joining. We'll be back next week for the pay-per-view card. Hopefully we'll get Manpreet on one of these days. But in the meantime, like and subscribe. Check out SXBet. Magic, thanks for joining me. Any parting words for the people?
Not really. Let's go, JSP. We need it. He is undeniable. Inevitable, undeniable. JSP.
All right. See you guys.